Hello everyone. So I think let's wait for a couple of more minutes. We'll start by 11:05. Let's wait for 2 minutes. So hi, team. I think we can start now. Kushal, we can go ahead.
Uh, yes, sir. You can go ahead.
Okay, fine. Okay, so thanks everyone for joining the this webinar and a very good morning and warm good morning to everyone. So we are here to present you like all the opportunities, problems, solutions, and opportunities provided by cloud modernization powered by GenAI for our BFSI segments. In today's webinar, you will be means they're basically joining me with the Sudhanshu Kumawat, me myself Shahid Khan, and I'm looking after the cloud business in AWS. And joining me Sudhanshu Kumawat, he is our GenAI expert. He's building his expertise in building boards, different boards for GenAI product, right? So in today's agenda, we will be covering these topics. Basically, I will try to divide in two segments. First segment that will talk about the challenges, current challenges faced by BFSI industry, and what kind of solutions AWS can provide to solve their solutions. And additionally, I will emphasize or highlight some of the GenAI services that we have already developed and our BFSI customers are means using currently into their business. That's one part. And second part that Sudhanshu will be covering, it's more about how to create a boot, how what all the means use cases that you can implement, how to implement, and kind of a small demo he will present. So it's more of a technical kind of means session that Swanshu will be taking care. And at the last, we will have a Q&A session. And I'm really looking for that session when we will be interacting with you and you will ask a lot of questions from us. So I think let's, without wasting a time, let's start on means the very first part. So I'd like to start means like BFSI industry that covers all the banking, finance, insurance sector. I'm including in this segment. I'm also looking after the means NBFCs, that is small NBFCs that we are like Aavas Financiers, Tokta, all those. I'm also talking about them. So what sort of problems and challenges they currently face? As we interact with them, we know that the most common problem they face is like their application, legacy application and monolithic applications. What that means, they have their code base like LOS system. If you go to any bank or any, their LOS systems are very slow, written in very means 10 years or 15 years old LOS system they are using. So what that brings on the table, that makes the development cycle very slow, right? And if the development cycle is slow and the legacy is there, so it's means hard to maintain the system. So if it hard, it's becoming expensive. So that's a very common problem, that's legacy system and monolithic applications. It's very slow to development, high downtime, and very expensive to maintain. That's one of the problem the BFSI industry follows. The second most problem they face is like security compliance. This is the segment that is the BFSI and NBFC segment that is the mostly ruled by different regulatory bodies of Government of India, Reserve Bank of India and different regulatory bodies that keep on throwing new regulatories, new acts, so that your data regarding the data protection and all those things. So it's very hard for NBFCs or BFSIs to keep on track with all those acts, uh, and that acts are basically powered by fines and jail. So it's sometime what happens if you're not compliant. AWS pernicious is so hard that it's disrupts your banking system, it disrupts your businesses basically. So that's one of the second most part is like coping with the security and compliance that's RBI and different authorities bodies keep on throwing. Recently, they have maybe you have heard that they have a Government of India has included DPDP Act, Digital Personal Data Protection Act, and that act is one of the very means viable act that the core crux is saying that any organization cannot keep personal data of any person, and that's the challenge comes for the NBFCs and BFSIs, because we you start playing with the personal data. If you ask for the Aadhaar, you ask for the means PAN cards, all those things. So that's the very means big problem for NBFC to keep track on that. Second, third most problem, the personally I feel that NBFCs feel like scalability and high availability. What that means basically, high availability is basically means it suggests that your system is always available. Means minimum to minimum downtime is having your application. That's BFSI sector needs. And scalability is that whenever the load is high, your system should be able to scale up. Whenever the load is low, your scale up your system should be able to scale down. Let's take an example. Like if banking sector mostly work between 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. basically. This 6 hours they are very highly, or maybe we can send 6 p.m. This 12 hours. So in we can our system should be in a way that in the daytime that should be scaled up and should be able to handle more and more customers, and the night when the customers are very low, then should be scaled down to so that the cost can be reduced. So that's the second problem. Your systems basically NBFCs or BFSI sector system that's not are scalable and those not are highly available, so that causes the cost problem. Very the cost maintaining this application become costly. And the fourth most common problem is data silos and fragmentation. That means as NBFCs, we or BFSI, we keep on asking different data. Let's somebody asked for loans. We ask different means documents from the customer, and to keep that documents in different systems, it's very challenging. Every NBFCs have like LOA systems, CRMs. So keeping those data into those systems, it's very difficult, and most of the NBFCs are currently manually operating. So the data, keeping the data in digital form, in centralized form, without any duplicacy, it's challenging. And that's the problem that brings up is if that your data is scattered, your data is not centralized in somewhere, it's hard to bring any analytics on that. Let's suppose your CEO, CTO, or some higher manager wants some analytics data, right? I want to know how many means loan application is there, or whatever, how many defaulters are there, how many non-performing assets are there. So that's become challenging to bring on the table because your data is not centralized. That's one of the biggest problem. And the next problem we talk about the slow innovation and time to market. Means the time to market means how soon you are able to develop your application and how soon you are able to launch in the market, right? I will just bring a light on this. Facebook, when it was to 25 years ago, the best part of the Facebook was that they were able to launch new software, new version of Facebook, 4 or 5 versions they upload on daily basis. Basically, means the system was so capable that they can write a code, test it, and integrate in the system, and they can do it 4 or 5 times on daily basis. The software was very huge, but still they were able to make changes and go live 4 to 5 times in a day. And That's the problem comes when we talk about legacy system and banking system. We cannot go live very frequently, and that's the problem. Is if you develop some feature and you are not able to go into the markets, that's a basically waste of your cost and waste of your resource that we have put in to implement that basically features. That's one of the problem. And the last feature we talk about the cost efficiency and fixed cost basically. Let's suppose you are in VFCs, you have taken the hardwares and the cost is fixed, right? If you purchased some machines or hardwares, it's a cost is there. Either you are utilizing or not utilizing. That's one part. Another part is you are underutilizing, right? So that's the problem. If you have purchased something and you are not using it up to its capacity, then there's a waste of money and you are means overpaying it for basically. So that's are the biggest problem that's BFSI industry currently face. And I will talk in the next slide, I will talk about what all the solutions that AWS brings on the table, that the problem that you have discussed can be solved via those AWS services. So if I will give you some brief about AWS, so AWS is comprised of more than 200 AWS services. They have more than 200 services. That means they have solution for each and every problem that any industry, any person faces in ITS world, right? So I'll talk one by one for each is problem we have talked about. I will try to map some of the AWS services that you can use to solve your problem. Okay. Any questions so far? I'm going so fast, or if any question, I can answer. No? Okay. So let's continue. So the first and foremost problem you talk about legacy and monolithic application, right? So to solve these problems like slow application, AWS provide AWS Lambda functions. Basically, you can use AWS Lambda functions to write microservices and scale up your application. Another part is that ECS Fargate is a serverless architecture. You can modernize your application using AWS Fargate. API gateways are there. One of the services you can use it to integrate different APIs into third-party APIs into your application. And containerization, that's I talk about ECR and ECS. So these are the combination of services like Lambda, Fargate, API gateway, and containerization that you can use to make your application fast, smooth, modernize. Okay. If I talk about the next problem like security and compliances, as I talk, there's a security compliances with AWS provide different means services. The four and foremost are like IAM users. Basically, IAM users you can use is to give access to different person based on their hierarchy, based on their role and responsibilities. You can use IAM user with guard duty and security hub to better utilize your means picture and give the access to data. So basically, security hub, guard duty, IAM user you can use to uh, give proper access so that you can reduce the uh, threat as much as you can. Second problem that the data protection when data is in rest and data in transits. So basically to overcome this problem, AWS provide KMS and HMS solutions. You can use these services to make sure your data is encrypted both in both the forms rest and transit. Another services provided by AWS is AWS config and trial. These are basically ready for audit readiness. Basically, you can implement these services to make your application very friendly to audits. Okay. Next problem, if you talk about like scalability and high availability, the problem I talk about like your system are not scalable to handle loads when user is high, and it's not able to scale down when user is low. So basically to solve this problem, AWS provides auto scaling feature. What that means, if you implement auto scaling, so your system should be able to handle from 10,000 user to 1 lakh to user or 10 lakh users without adding any extra means manual intervention. It will automatically scale it up. it will not go downside itself. Basically, that's the auto scaling feature brings on the table. You don't need to manually change hardware or increase the capacity of the any hardware. It's automatically scale up to the level so that it can cater every needs and without any failure. Another part that AWS provides is multi-AZ. Basically, multi-AZ means you can use multi-AZs to make your infra high available. In any case, any disaster or any unfortunate thing happens, you can use multi-AZ features so that your infra will be keep and running all the time, so that you can minimize the business loss and business continuity. And that's the need of the hour, that BFSI sector cannot go down, so that there will be business impact, right? The third problem we talk of fourth problem, basically we talk about the data fragmentation. That's the problem was, right? Your data is not centralized, so that you're not able to take decisions, you're not able to extract meaningful data out of those data. So to protect that, AWS provide like S3 buckets, data lake or lake formation. You can centralize your data, bring all this data to make a data lake. There are AWS service that is called Redshift and SageMaker that you can use to bring a dashboard. You can create a dashboard for your upper management or your CEO, CXO levels person, so that you can extract the meaningful data and you can make a very useful dashboard for your CXO level person. Next topic, you talk about the slow to innovation and time to market. As I mentioned that Facebook was very active in providing so many builds in a single day, and that was the 20 years ago, that's called CI/CD pipeline. Basically, it's development and deployment. As soon as developer develops a code, it will push, some tester will test. As soon as it goes okay, it will be deployed on some system. Let's suppose the stage, and as soon as the stage environment is, there's no issue, it will push the code to production environment. So it was making your means deployment cycle automated. As soon as developer commits, the code will be pushed to development code, and that's make you means very means go to market fast, so that you can, any application you have developed, you can go to the market as soon as possible. And last topic, we'll talk about the cost efficiency and fixed cost benefit. So how AWS help in bringing your cost low is AWS, the serverless architecture. If you talk about the Lambda function, we talk the ECS, we talk about in the upper section. It's a pay as you go model. Pay as you go model means it's the charges are applicable only for the things you have used. Basically, it's not about the fixed cost. Is not about you have purchased 8 core CPU, you have to pay for 8 core CPU. If I make your system scalable and there is no load on your system, and currently your system is 8 core, so if I can downsize it to 2 core CPU, and you will be paying for the 2 core only instead of 8 core. But in case of fixed cost, if in case there is no user or whatever, you have to pay for the 8 core machines. That's the beauty of AWS, that it brings down the server automatically, and you are charged for that only. You are not charged for the maximum version of the servers. And AWS also brings up some saving plans, like if you purchase some saving plan, you give the commitment for 1 year or 2 year or 3 year, the cost is already reduced to 20 to 40% based on the machines. AWS also come up with the new versions of CPUs, that graviton based servers. If you use the graviton based servers, again the cost is very minimal. So basically AWS provides so much cost efficiency that now they are able to compete with means local partners like Blue Ocean, all those things, so we can compete with them. So these are the problem and different AWS services that I can map to the different problems that you can use to solve your problems. So before moving to the next slides, any question? Do you have any questions so far? Okay, fine. So this last slide I will be taking after that. In this slide I'll talk about what, as a Habit Labs, what we have created so far for BFSI industry using our generative AI successes. So these slides I'll talk about some of the product that we have already created for our customers that are using modernize application, using GenAI for BFSI sectors. So first and foremost, the product I talk about is serverless DMS. DMS is a document management system. It's a document management system that will help you to centralize your data. Means basically to solve the problem of data segmentation and data silos and reduce your all the duplicates data basically. And once you use the serverless DMS, your data will be centralized, and you on that you will be able to make any dashboard or anything using that. So what the beauty of serverless DMS is, it's a totally scalable and serverless basically. So what that means, in background we have used the infra of S3 bucket, so that your all the data that you put in that goes to S3 bucket. And S3 bucket is the least means cost wise. If you talk about the least cost effective services that AWS provide, S3 bucket, all those your data is put into S3 bucket. It is totally serverless and it totally scalable. Means if you want to use 1 TB of data, it will be charged according to 1 TB data. If you want to put 10 TB of data, you can use 10 TB of data and you will be charged as per the 10 TBs of data. So that's the beauty of serverless DMS that we have. And we have given a GenAI test to our DMS application. So if I talk about what we have done the GenAI part in the DMS, so let's suppose any BFSI that's giving a loan to some customer, they ask for different documents. Like they ask for Aadhaar, they ask for PAN card, they ask for some property document, all those things. So we keep those data in DMS. What comes in the next, that DMS was unable to find where is all the Aadhaar cards are there, where all the basically it was unable to find the Aadhaar cards and segregate between Aadhaar cards and PAN cards and property papers. So we put a GenAI case so that if you want, all the Aadhaar card can be put in separate place. All the you can identify all the PAN cards, you can identify all the property papers, all the salary slips, whatever document you have put in, you can identify via GenAI case that we have implemented. So that's one of the product we have created. Second product we talk about is masking application. As we talk about, like RBI comes with different acts to protect personal data, and one of those is like you cannot keep personal data, and if you are keeping somewhere, you have to mask it basically. Masking. So for that masking, we have created a beautiful product that is called masking application, and you can use this product to mask your any of the document like Aadhaar, PAN card, or your maybe your means salary slips, your passports, every document that needed by government. A company that want to make it mask, you can make it mask. You just integrate your system. It's very easy to integrate into your environment. Just integrate it, you start masking, and all the data will be masked and kept into the S3 bucket, and you can use that data basically. So this is the Aadhaar document masking application that we have created. And third and foremost, that's not a, it's a refined tool. So this tool is basically we have created using GenAI services, and that tool is basically if any customer that is using AWS, they have basically monthly bills into their table. Basically, they have to pay. So if you upload your bills into this tool that we have created, refined tool, you will be given all the cost optimization suggestion that you can implement in your system to minimize your cost basically. So this tool helps you bring down your cost. So you can try it. I have put the URL here in the PPT as well. If you open this URL, it's a you don't need to log in at all. You just upload your bills, and any suggestion, that cost optimization that is there in your current AWS infrastructure, it will automatically bring up all the suggestions, and you can just implement it, and your cost will be go down automatically. I will also put the link in the chat box so that you can copy and use that tool. It's a very easy tool, and that's totally based on AWS, and it's means using its AWS GenAI services. We have created this tool, so you can use it. I will put in the comment section basically. So I think that's all from my side. I have covered all the part, basically what the problem we faced, what sort of solutions that AWS bring in the table to cater those problems, and I've also talked about the some GenAI use cases that Habit Labs have implemented. and that BFSI customer can use. Now I would like to invite Sudhanshu Kumar for the next part of the webinar, and that's a little bit of technical part, and he will be able to talk about the GenAI use case and how it is being implemented at the very basic level. So Sudhanshu, it's over to you. Please
Yeah.
take it.
So yeah, hi guys. I'm Sudhanshu, and I'm working with Able Labs and help my clients to onboard their GenAI project to AWS Bedrock and certain platforms. And I help like customers to make a lot of automations using GenAI in terms of their compliance, in terms of their regular automated task, in terms of their customer support and other things, right? So let's I'll we will go through why generative AI on AWS Bedrock, why not on OpenAI, why not on Anthropic, or why not on any other platform, right? So let's suppose you want to you want to implement a GenAI feature and you want to list it on your existing platform or existing website, right? So what you have to do is first as a step first you have to select an LLM model, right? And there are hundreds of providers in the market. There are a lot of LLM models. They have different sizes, different tokens, different training data, and you have to select one of them for your use case. So what you guys are going to do there, right? You guys are going to do some test on different LLMs, right? And what if I told you that on AWS Bedrock, all these LLM models, including OpenAI, OpenWeight's model, Anthropic models, even on Amazon models, Cohere models, and these all are present on a single place so that you can compare the models. You can see what model suits you the best according to your use case, right? So this is the first thing. Now let's suppose we have selected any LLM model for our use case, right? Now there are like a lot of I'll say some limitations of LLM. For example, the data is not updated because LLM has been trained on a previous data. So we can have only the information till that data, right? LLM doesn't have the information about our industry specific data. For example, if you are a bank or if you are a NBFC, right? You will be having a customer support, right? Where you have certain rules about how to provide the eligibility to certain type of peoples, right? And there are like a lot of FAQs you guys are receiving. Maybe some of the FAQs you have listed on your website, but for some of the FAQs, you have some guy or you have someone who is attending the calls and giving them repeatedly answers about their queries. Like for example, what documents you will be required, what is your interest rate, example, right? So now these all data doesn't have, these all data is not present in the current LLMs, right? So what you have to do is, so there is again two options. Either you have to fine tune your LLM, and the second thing is that you don't want your data to be used by LLM, right? You want your data to be created in your environment and should not go to the any LLM to retrain that LLM, right? So what you will do is you will create a knowledge base and RAG pipelines. So RAG is basically retrieval augmented system, where whenever LLM is answering something, it will take a context from your documents, right? This is very safe because we are not sending any all the data to LLM, and LLM cannot be able to use it. But in terms of Gen AI on AWS Bedrock, right? We have all the like AWS is using all the best practices of AI and all the compliance of AI. So they are not using any kind of data, our data, to train their models. And for example, if Anthropic is one of the providers of the models on AWS, right? The data is not going to Anthropic, but the Anthropic model has been hosted in AWS environment only, right? Now, suppose you have everything on, you have everything on AWS, or you now move to AWS. Now, why call, any third party API or third party LLM model when you have to transfer the data from one network to another network, right? Again, this is a very risky thing. Again, the all your data has been trained by the any kind of providers, LLM providers, right? So this is one again case, right? So for that we have AWS Bedrock present in the AWS Bedrock knowledge base present in our AWS environment, right? Where you can create the embeddings of your own data, and that embeddings LLM take as reference to answer the queries of your customers, right? So now your data is not used to train the LLM, but still LLM will be able to answer it, the user's query from your database, right? Now, third thing, now like we have everything, we got our LLM, we got our RAG pipeline set up. Now, third thing is that LLM have some limitations, like they are biased according to, what data has been trained on. For example, some of the LLM has been, mentioned certain kind of ideology, and some LLMs have a different type of ideology, and they are ideology biased, right? How can you control that? So there is another thing like AWS guardrails, right, where you can ask LLM to, where you can set some rules of the LLM so that customer won't exploit, or any kind of prompt injection should be prevented, right? Now, for example, if you are asking LLM to analyze any profile and you don't want to share any kind of personal information like, email IDs or the age of a person, or address of a person. So there is PII masking, right? Where whenever we are sending data to LLM, it will replace those value with certain kind of gibberish values, and when LLM returns, it will again replace it with the original values, so that LLM doesn't getting the sensitive information like card details and everything, right? So we have like PII masking present in guardrails as well, right? Now you say that I want to create an agent. So AWS Bedrock provide its agentic platform, where you can create agent, where you can provide the tools to the LLM models, right? We will see everything in a picture, right? And Kshit, can you move to the next slide? So some of the use cases, let me tell you like what we have been delivered to our customer previously, and what are the use cases, best use cases according to the BSFI, right? So first one is like intelligent document processing. For example, I'll take an example, right? So, my mother have a bank account in a post office account, right? And there is, and I'm a nominee there. So every time I go to, cashing out some money, they ask me about my, government identity, right? Aadhaar card was not handy with me, but I have a voter ID card, right? And my name is my name is misspelled in there. Still, they see the Aadhaar, and they give me, they let me process the data, let me process, my withdrawals, right? Because because human can do mistakes, right? So, by with the using of intelligent document processing, right, you can do OCRs, you can do, you can find the pattern, you can, match the different type of document and see if, any kind of inconsistency happen in that, right? So intelligent document processing we have done for our clients. Customer support and assistance, right? So there is a client, right? He's getting like around 300 calls per day from their customers, or 300 queries on his website, right? And for that, there is a executive, or there is a like a call center executive who is answering their queries, right? So why, when when we are in the age of AI, why can't we give those document to AI, and AI will handle things accordingly, right? So we have created a customer support and assistance via Bedrock, right? And it is around 45,000 files, I guess, they have, right? And the bot will be able to parse those and answer it very fine, right? Now, regulatory intelligence, for example, like, we have a RBI guidelines, right, releasing every day. It is changing every day, so we can create a scraper tool where, whatever the RBI guidelines came, we will get a mail or some certain kind of things, right? So that is regulatory intelligence. And for the Aadhaar masking as well, we got to know when Aadhaar masking was there, when we have also implemented this Aadhaar masking, algorithm, which has been used by a lot of BSFI. Now, fraud and risk assessment. For example, if in your company, in your internal company, maybe there are some external mails are coming around, and there is fraud risk assessment, maybe phishing links, right? Mostly. So we can have this fraud assessment there, even on your server. For example, if you are using AWS, you will be known that every API or every request coming into your server has been logged into audit trails, right? We can use those audit trail logs and pass into LLM to, check if any inconsistency is there, right? One of the thing is. Now the next thing is IT and code modernization. So Amazon also provide us an Amazon Q thing, right, where which we Heavy Labs is heavily using in terms of generating codes, in terms of generating the templates, or I'll say creating the configuration of pods and everything. So one thing, like, we are doing it. So now, like, instead of going to a lot of I'll say theoretical part, let's go and see what practicality is present in what we are talking about, right? So Shahid, can you move to the next slide? Yeah, so we're going to do a automated KYC verification live demo, and also going to understand some of the Bedrock services which we have. So, why AWS Bedrock? One thing is that, a life cycle of a Gen AI project, right? From starting to training to deployment to handling to validation, everything is present in there. Even we can create agents, even we can create guardrails, anything can be done, right? So I'll share my screen and I'll show you, all these features and everything. Just give me a second, guys. My screen is visible, guys.
Yes, 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 Sudhanshu.
Okay, so let's go to this Bedrock thing. I'm moving to this Bedrock. Yeah, it is here. So see, first of all, there is a model access where we will get all the models from different providers like Claude, Anthropic, even on Amazon. So let's see these feature one by one. So one of the main feature which we use is Playground to test and compare different type of LLM models, right? So let's suppose I am going to create a bot, or I want to, create a certain kind of, let's suppose we want to create a customer executive bot for us, right? So we have to, do a lot of testing and, check out what type of, model we should go with, right? So we have selected a model, right? Let's see. These are the parameters which we want to adjust or something. So if I quickly tell you, temperature is basically something which allow us you to decide the randomness of any LLM, right? Top P is like top prioritized chunk, or top whatever we are providing to LLM, it will take top 90% data to generate a response from. So let's try something here, like what are the RBI, what, like, let's say I'm just writing because I don't think this model will be having RBI guidelines, present guidelines. So let's say, what is RBI? So I'm not giving it any data. I'm just testing the model with whatever data the model have, right? And we can test like how much time it is taking to generate the response. For example, the input token is 6, output token is 6, latency is 990. So by the judgment of all this information, we can see if this model will be cost effective for us or not. And I'll definitely encourage you to try this compare mode as well, when you can select multiple models and try to answer from the same time, right? Now, suppose take an example, right? You have a lot of customer data, or suppose maybe let's take a scenario where you have 1,000 employees in your company, right? And whenever the new onboarding happens, the HR have to repeat everything, right? From the last to telling about the policies and all, right? And even in that short period of time, an employee won't be able to gather all this information inside his brain, right? So like we want to create a bot. Whenever we have a confusion related to organization policy, we can just directly ask the questions from that, right? So in this AWS Bedrock, that is very easy to create. We don't even have to manage any kind of infrastructure, and it is pay per use, right? So no costing upfront, right? So see, I have created this bucket. I want to show you. This is, yeah. So this is a bucket for webinar I have created, and I have added some HR policies and ENC policies here, right? Let me open these policies and show you, like, what type of data we have in here. Okay. So this is a HR policy handbook where there is a lot of information about leaves, everything, notice period, and anything, right? And again, there is another policy which is like another book which is ENC policy, right? About compliance and everything about in whatever happened in Heavy Labs, right? So I have uploaded this data in bucket. Suppose you have a lot of this your company data in this bucket, and you want to create a chatbot out of it, right? if you go without using Bedrock, right, you have to select a vector database, you have to host that vector database, you have to, create you have to make functions to parse those PDF, because PDF can be scanned PDF, or PDF can be, contain a lot of tabular data. And while parsing, like, you have to do whole engineering by yourself. There is a lot of engineering required, there is a team required, there is a lot of expertise required while doing so, right? But in AWS Bedrock, over the years of providing us this bot and everything, they have created this knowledge base, where you can directly connect this S3 to this knowledge base. For example, this I have created this HR knowledge base, and you can see that for the data source I have added that bucket, right? That is the same bucket which which I have this data into. For example, temp bucket for webinar. I think we can see that here. There is an S3 name, bucket name. Yeah, so see, TAM bucket for webinar, it is picking up the document from them, right? So this is the knowledge base, I have created, and I have just connected it with S3 bucket, right? Now I can directly, ask the question from my, S3 bucket or knowledge base by just, providing it a model. So let's take it as, I think we can take any of the model, and make sure this model, you have the access of this model, because you have to take the access first. So what I can write, like, what is the sick leave policy? And it will take some time, and it will take those document into consideration and generate a response from us. And here you can see, like, from where this response is coming from. This response is coming from HR, HR policies, and this is the actual content written in that PDF, right? And it is giving us all the citations from where it is bringing the data, and even we can see the chunk, what type of source chunks they have bring us, right? So not whole PDF is coming, but the chunks, right? And these are the chunks which have information about sick leaves, right? So employees are entitled to days of sick leave annually, and family care leave, everything is there. Medical certificate will be required or not, what are the leave balances, how it managed, right? So see what, in just 10 minutes of time, we have created a chatbot of whole of our data, right? And if you do it manually, I don't think you will be able to do in less than, like, at least 3 or 4 weeks, right? And host it as well, right? So it will provide you the API which you can directly integrate in your existing system, and start asking questions from them, right? Now let's go to the our point where we are talking about the KYC documentation kind of thing. So I have, I'm using this Bedrock LLM models, right? And I've created this a small application where I will be uploading my I told you about my voter ID, that there is a mistake name, right? In so it is Sudhanshu only, right? And in my Aadhaar card it is Sudhanshu, right? So I'm selecting these two things together, and asking the LLM to, generate a, KYC verification system for me to check the, documentations and everything. We can upload many document like passport and other things. So see, at first step, it has properly extracted, did the OCR for us, right? Now a lot of BSFI and a lot of these banks are relying on third party APIs, so that they will give the APIs, and where you will upload the PAN card and you will get the OCR data in a JSON format, right? So, and it is taking time, but you're getting it here. Like, it took a fraction of second to just bring this information out of for me, right? From any kind of document, it is able to do that, right? So this is my information from the Aadhaar card. The name is Sudhanshu Kumawat, and in the from the voter ID, it is Sudhansh Kumawat, right? Now the LLM will do its verification, and it says that conflicting values found, right? Sudhanshu Kumawat and Sudhanshu Kumawat, right? So document inconsistency detected, and it is the red flag, right? And there is, like, AI risk score will be 55. You can adjust this score according to your business need, and this is the baseline risk that this guy could be doing fraud, right? And we can download these reports here. So this whole project has been created with the AWS Bedrock, and with the help of Amazon Q in terms of writing code and everything, right? And for that, like, if you want to create this kind of application, I think Bedrock is one of the best platform, because it provide you all the LLM access. For example, if there is a new LLM came, then you have to wrote all the code again if you go with some kind of Anthropic to OpenAI, or OpenAI to Anthropic. But in the Bedrock, when we have access of all the models, right, we don't have to change much. We don't have to change on the infrastructure side or anything, right? So this is all about like AWS Bedrock. There are a lot of other tools like agents. We can create agents, we can create guardrails, we can manage our prompts, right? So prompt management, like for example, if we have current prompt, then a new prompt came, then it will keep the versions of the prompts, right? And it will give a suggestion how to improve it, and we can also test it, right? And there is data automation and agent core as well. We can evaluate whatever we have created, right? If it is not biased, and we can create a benchmark scores as well for this. And this will be also one of the very good tools in terms of validating what you have created, right? Because you don't want anything to be miscommunicated to your customers, to your clients, or anyone, right? So this is a bedrock, and this is what we have created, a KYC verification system. There could be many use cases, but this is just one of the use cases which we have presented to you. Okay. So yeah, Shahid sir, you can take from here. Also, I want to mention one more thing, because now your infrastructure is in the AWS. You are using AWS Bedrock. The server to Bedrock server to the AI agent system will be managed inside the AWS in a private VPC. So there is no issue while managing your managing any security compliance. So it will be stored in a private network, and it will be a very fast, and it will be very I'll say friend like it will be very much closer to each other, and very much easy to manage, right? Whenever we are doing any updates, and whenever we are doing any downgrades as well. Okay. So yeah, it's all from the Bedrock side, all from the GenAI with Bedrock side. Shahid sir, you can present your screen again, and we can move forward.
It's visible now to everyone.
Yeah. So yeah. So guys, if you have any questions related to whatever we have, we are happy to answer.
Anyone, any question regarding the basically two things we have covered. One thing like AWS modernization and different AWS services that I covered in the first part of the webinar. And the second part, the Sudhanshu took the Bedrock and GenAI specific services. So any question comes to your mind, please ask. Don't hesitate to ask any question.
Shahid sir, there are two questions in the Q&A session. One
Okay.
from Udit, like about zero-time migration. You can check it from there. In the Q&A session, sir. Q&A, not in chat. They have shared in there.
So it has about zero downtime migration in case of a problem will be with maybe glitches or. So yeah, so different, very good question with it. That's a fallback plan or rollback path. Of course, there are when we are implementing a CI/CD pipeline, right? That I talk about when we are developing something, you commit to the different environment. Let's say production environment, and your environment goes down. So always there is a rollback plan. GitHub is there, so you can switch to the second last repository or code, and your code will be rollback. That's a one answer for rollback. And fallback, if I understand what your fallback you are asking, so fallback is basically, if I answer, I will give it like a high available. Make your system high available. Means if you are running your infra in one of the Mumbai region or Delhi region, keep a minimal running version of your infrastructure any other region, right? So let's suppose anything goes down, Mumbai infra goes down, it totally corrupted. You can upscale in very minimal time your Delhi based or Hyderabad based means infra, and so that your business continue will be impact at very minimum level. So do two answers basically, one for fallback and one for rollback. Okay. Avni, I think you mentioned video KYC with GenAI. Are you seeing this one? I think Sudhanshu,
Yeah.
that question for you
So
basically.
so in this case, Avni, you have to design your server such that, like, because whatever happened regarding OCR and everything will be happened in backend only, right? So it is bit depend on the internet speed of the area, but once you uploaded the file, everything will happen to server. So the OCR part will not get delayed due to their poor connectivity. It's just a file upload, issue can be there because chunks will go one by one. So this could be happen.
We are open to many more questions. Please ask. You can ask upfront on the means use your mic and you can ask. You can type your questions. I think we have still left with five more minutes, 5 6 more minutes. Please, we are open for any question, anything. Don't hesitate to ask. Okay. I think people are very means hesitant to ask questions. So I have put one of the my link as I mentioned, like I am also putting the same in the Q&A part. I am, as I mentioned, I covered the refined tool part. Okay, so I am also answering. I am also pasting here, so you can also use this URL. This is a URL you can use for any cost optimization you want to do on your AWS current infra. So I have put in the chat box as well. I have put in the this Q&A part as well. So you can use this refined tool URL. It's very easy to use. Any questions from anybody, or shall we proceed with the concluding this webinar? Kushal, I think we have.
Yes, sir. We should wrap it up, and
Okay.
yeah, I will share it in the email
Okay.
to each and
Okay.
everyone, and everyone will get a GenAI ebook.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, fine. So thanks
Yeah.
everyone. Thanks everyone for joining the session and bearing with us. We took your 1 hour, precious 1 hour, and I hope we are clear with you and we are able to make you understand the basics of cloud and basics of GenAI. So feel free to reach anytime to our different email IDs that our organization having. You can go to website, you can reach out to different mediums, reach out to our sales team, reach out to our marketing team, and yeah, that's it from my side, and nice interacting with you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks
Thanks
for joining,
everyone.
everyone. Bye.